In my most recent review, I tested a set of earbuds with LDAC support and dual drivers, and today we turn things up a notch as I got the Soundpeats Opera 05 for you, which does not only support the LDAC codec, but it also adds a third driver, which considering its $99 price tag is quite a feat to pull off. Hi everyone, my name is Andy, and you're watching Andy's Tech Tone. Before we get into the details, I have to tell you that I got a free test sample from the manufacturer, but I'm neither getting paid nor did anyone have any influence on the process of making this video. So on to the Opera 05. Soundpeats have recently finished their crowdfunding campaign, and as of making this video, they already started shipping the earbuds to their backers, but the 05 is not yet available through their official webshop. Depending on when and where you watch this video, it might already be on sale for a price of around $99, but if you want up-to-date information on the availability and the price, then check out the links in the description. And moving on to the design of the Opera 05, it's anything but low profile. There is the larger than average size, those shiny golden accents and the not so subtle golden touch panels on the side, which will definitely draw some attention. The buds are made mostly from glossy plastic, but thankfully the engineers were smart enough to put a matte coating on the inner side, which can give you a much better and more secure fit in your ears. And you will need all the help you can get with the fit, because the buds are not only large, but they also weigh in at around 7.4 grams each. I'm not saying that the earbuds do not sit securely in my ears, but probably they won't be my first choice when it comes to workouts. The IPX4 rating makes them splash and sweat resistant, so if you want, then by all means you can take them with you to the gym, but again, I don't think that supporting an active lifestyle was amongst the top priorities when designing the Opera 05. That said, during casual activities such as strolling around in town, the buds stay in my ears securely all the time. Also, despite the larger than average weight and size, the earbuds are comfortable enough to be used for an hour or two, but you might experience some fatigue or hot spots in the long run, as the weight will start to pull down on your ear canals after a while. Of course, this is only my experience and your mileage might vary, but you get 3 sets of silicone ear tips in the box to try and find the best possible fit for yourself. Regarding the case, it's neither compact nor it is large, and it has 2 features worth mentioning. One is the golden accent, which makes it look less boring than your average black plastic case, and 2 is the springy opening mechanism of the lid, which makes popping it up easy, and it also comes to a hard stop, preventing the lid from flopping around when fully open. The one thing I don't like is that I find it quite cumbersome taking out the buds from the case due to the lack of a grip on the buds and the insufficient room around them inside the case. But again, maybe it's just something me and my clumsy fingers are to be blamed for. But I will definitely put the blame on cost cutting for the lack of wireless charging. It would have been nice to get that feature, but more than likely it simply did not fit into the budget. However, for charging purposes, you can of course use the USB Type-C port on the back. And talking about charging takes us to battery life. So the single charge playtime of the buds can vary between 4 hours 55 minutes and 9 hours 2 minutes according to my own tests. The playtime with both the LDAC codec and noise cancelling enabled may sound a tad short, but in fact the Opera 05 performs better than some premium earbuds with the same settings. The AAC use time is also considered excellent in its own price range, and it's perfectly in line with the official specifications provided by Soundpeats. The case can recharge the buds about 2.5 times, which results in a total playtime of 33 hours in the best case scenario. Next up is connection. The Opera 05 comes with a Bluetooth 5.3 compliant chip on board, which boasts LDAC compatibility and supports single bud mode. What we don't get is multi-point use and a low latency game mode. But the connection has always been solid during my tests, and I found the pairing process easy with either Android or iOS devices. I have not experienced any signal dropouts regardless of what audio codec I used, and there were no lip sync issues when watching videos. And before moving on to discussing the controls, here is a quick audio sample from the built-in microphones of the Soundpeats Opera 05. So if you are going to use the earbuds for making phone calls in a quiet environment, this is the audio quality you can expect. And here's another test for you guys. This time I'm outside next to a fairly busy road. And besides the traffic noise, you can probably also hear that slight breeze through the microphones on the Soundpeats Opera 05. So this is the sound quality you can expect from these earbuds in such conditions. As for the controls, we get a touch-sensitive interface on each, but they are hard to miss. You know, these are those shiny golden panels on the side. Of course, you won't see the panels themselves when using the buds in your ears, no matter how blindingly bright they can get on a sunny day out there, but nevertheless, they are easy to use, quick to react, and they also can offer most functions you might need. You can control play, pause, volume, phone calls, your voice assistant, and you can also skip a track forward. There are 3 things missing though. First, you cannot skip back a track as you can only skip forward. Second, there are no smart sensors on the buds, so there is no automatic play and pause. And third, we get no custom settings in the app either, so you cannot remap the functionality of the touch controls. However, according to my source, the custom touch controls are in the pipeline, so fingers crossed for some upgrades down the road. But for now, all you can do in the app is disable the single tap action, which can indeed prevent accidental touches, but in this case, you will lose the volume controls. So while the controls work well, they are not quite the best or the most flexible there are. And the rest of the Soundpeats app is only okay too when compared to its rivals. We get some EQ presets and the 10-band manual equalizer, but you cannot tweak the presets and you cannot create and save multiple custom profiles either. What you can do, however, is run a hearing test in the adaptive EQ menu, which then tailors the sound of the buds to your hearing. And other than the basic ambient and ANC modes, there is not much else the app has to offer. You can of course upgrade the firmware of your buds, which can add new features or improve the functionality of the buds down the road, but the competition, be it One More, Soundcore or Earphone, can offer more sophisticated smartphone apps as of making this video. And when it comes to active noise cancelling, the Soundpeats buds can more or less keep up with the others in its class. The more part refers to their transparency mode, which sounds natural with a minimal hiss and a fairly well-controlled wind noise. The less part refers to the actual noise cancelling performance, where the Opera 05 is just a step behind the category leaders, such as the Earphone Air Pro 3. High-frequency noises are blocked out efficiently enough, but it's blocking out low-pitch hums and rumbles, where the 05 lacks some skills. And while wind noise is kept under control in transparency mode, it gets a bit harsh with the ANC turned on. There is a constant and intense humming coming from the mics, which you cannot tame, let alone get rid of. It makes music listening a bit uncomfortable, even in the slightest breeze outside. If they could add the wind noise reduction or an outdoor mode to the app, that would be a great thing, but as of today, I'm not sure if it's ever going to happen. And finally, onto the sound quality, which is indeed the highlight of the Opera 05. I mentioned earlier how large the buds are, but there is a simple explanation for that. Each earbud comes with no less than 3 drivers inside, which is a unique feature in the true wireless audio world, but it takes up some space. So you can find the 12mm dynamic driver and dual balanced armature drivers in the 05s. And here I have to mention that for $20 less, you can get the Opera 03, which only offers one of the balanced armature drivers, but all the other features and specs are shared by the 2 buds. So back to the 05, both balanced armature drivers work in the range above 5500 Hz, delivering crisp details and loads of energy in the higher octaves. The dynamic driver is responsible for everything below that crossover frequency, including the bass and the mids. And even though there are multiple EQ presets in the app, I did all of my testing with the Soundpeats Classic Sound Profile, which is the default setting out of the box. And I don't think I would ever want to change that, as I find the sound signature of the buds quite outstanding as it is. The bass hits hard, it's tactile, it doesn't lack extension, yet it's not sluggish, so the bottom end can keep up with the rest of the frequency range in terms of pace. Thanks to its lean nature, the upper bass does not bleed into the lower end of the mid-range, and that's an attribute I always welcome. And talking about the mids, vocals sound forward and warm without ever getting chesty or shouty. Instruments sound true to life, and they come through with detail and finesse. The highs are outstanding as far as delivering nuances and the details go. The soundscape we get is extremely wide, and it extends beyond the physical dimensions of our ears. The imaging is almost holographic, and it's very easy to point out the individual pieces and the different instruments across that vast soundstage. Everything sounds bright and airy, or I should rather say it's breezy instead, because when I say bright you might think it's harsh or sibilant, but there is no sign of such nastiness in the sound at all. Maybe this is one of the advantages of having two high-frequency drivers instead of one. You don't need to drive them so hard, so you can avoid distortion, and it gives more flexibility to the engineers when it comes to tuning in the right balance between the lower and the higher octaves. And if I said that the ANC performance is a step behind the class leaders like the Earphone Air Pro 3, now I can say that the sound quality of the O5 is definitely on a much higher shelf. We get a more coherent, natural and balanced sound with much better separation, a more extended and more three-dimensional soundstage, and a more airy and detailed character. Maximum volume is also way above average, so most people will find the earbuds satisfyingly loud already at around 60 to 70% of volume. And in conclusion, I want to say that it's obvious where the money was spent during the designing process of the Opera O5. Soundpeats focused their efforts on delivering the highest possible sound quality for the money, and they for sure succeeded in doing so. It's hard to find another set of earbuds that would sound as good or well-rounded as these for under $100. The battery life is also excellent. It's only a pity that we don't get wireless charging, but if I had to choose between the perfectly tuned sound and wireless charging, I would pick those balanced armature drivers any day of the week and twice on Sunday. The rest of the package more or less delivers what you expect in this price bracket, but I have seen earbuds with a more comprehensive set of features overall. If you missed out on the crowdfunding campaign, you will probably have to wait until mid-summer for the O5 to show up in the official Soundpeats online store, but at the end of the day, this triple driver setup along with the LDAC support is definitely worth the wait for those who want the best sound quality for their money. And this was my take on the Soundpeats Opera O5. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Feel free to leave a comment should you have anything to add or ask. Thanks for everyone for watching. Thanks for watching. See you next time for watching. Thanks. Yeah, that's. Feel free to leave a comment should you have anything to add or ask. Thanks for watching. See you all in the next one.